Examine this picture. What is it? It's a picture of a pug. Isn't that adorable? Ha 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 ha. Now, how did you know that it was a pug? Well, you might say, what do you mean it's a pug? Because it is. But how do you know it's not a cat? Then you might say, cats look like cats and dogs look like dogs. And you're 100% correct. We as humans are exceptionally good at pattern recognition. When we see a pug, we know it's a pug because it fits with everything in our brains that tells us what a pug should look like. So now, let's change the photo from this to this. You recognize the photo isn't quite right almost instantly before you can specifically point out what is even wrong with it. Well, there are cat eyes on a pug's face. But your brain doesn't register that first, you just know there's something off with the picture. This isn't what a pug should look like. This is a little exercise Dr. Steven Schultzman did in his TED Talk, and the reason I brought it up is because I remember when Sonic's first trailer came out, the backlash that followed that one, and then 2 months later just to have the Cats trailer dropped. Now, I didn't jump on that hating on how the film looks train right away like most people did on Twitter and YouTube and all those social medias, because I always have that place in my heart that's like, well, what if it's good? Living in a culture where everyone is trying to get their opinions out there, yours truly included, but as soon as possible to get that clicks and attention. I never hate on a piece of work by its merits without having to watch it first. Am I saying the design doesn't look weird? No. Am I saying the movie is actually good? Absolutely not. What I am saying is having to watch Cats in theater opening night, having to be actually excited to see this film despite all the negative reactions, having had an open mind walking into this one, it was one of the biggest misfires of the year. I don't think I can say much more about the film itself that other people haven't already, like the fact that the film doesn't have any plot, even sometimes I guess they do, you don't really care, or how boring the film and how wrong the approach is. I guess to give a general review, there are so many cons people are talking about, they seem to somehow forget about the pros. I think the cinematography is actually really good. I like the lighting, the aesthetic, like look at these shots. I mean, they look actually, in my opinion, they look really good. I like the art direction, the production designs, the performance from Hudson. A new day. Easily the best song. And I guess some of the choreography are pretty good too. With that being said, Cat still isn't a very good movie. I want to talk about it on its technicality, and that is why exactly the cats and cats look like they're gonna murder my kids. From a distance, from a technicality standpoint that is, this film actually doesn't look that bad. Of course, they're all in my opinion. The fur and the motion capture mostly looks good, but yet you still figure there's something wrong with it. Despite the filmmakers were heading to make this film happen since I guess even before 2013, the film seems rushed, and it looks rushed to me. So I want to figure out why. One of the reasons why I said it seems rushed is because of the shadows. This is a thing I noticed when I was in the theater and then came back to watch the trailer frame by frame to confirm it. Now, I know the trailer was probably only 90% done with the CGI when it was released, a few months ago, but I did see it a lot in theater. If you look closely, it seems like they didn't even bother to take the time to draw the shadows of the tails. In a lot of the closer shots, you see it. But in a lot of the wider shots where more things are going on, the shadows of the tails are nowhere to be found. Take this shot for example. We have a cat jumping in from the left, it's called the left cat, and the one from the right, let's call it the right cat. First of all, the light shining from the doorway seems to scatter all over the place, but there seems to have this little cut-off shadow casting over here. I don't know, that's beside the point. The point is, if you look closely, we see the shadow of the left cat casting on the wall, but without a tail. Other than that, the shadow is so obviously hand-drawn, it isn't even moving along with the cat. It's like the shadow appears out of nowhere first and then drops straight down without moving. And just so if you're curious, the right cat also doesn't have any tail shadows either if you pause it at the right moment to see. This happens multiple times throughout the film, not just this one, especially the wider shots. I'm not saying that you know there's something off with the CGI because you see they don't have any tail shadows, but we're so good at recognizing patterns even before we know what exactly is wrong with it. We see lights every day, hopefully that is. That means we see shadows every day as well. Again with the wider shots, when I was in theater, I was so desperate to find out what exactly is wrong with it. So if you look in the background of a huge dance number, hell, even a ton of the close-ups, you see the faces of the actors aren't lining up exactly with whatever's going on with other parts of their faces. To demonstrate this, if you make a funny face, right, like this one, it isn't just about the face that's doing the action. Technically, your entire head is expressing it as well. The lighting change, the subtle movement of the hair, and even the earlobes. But if you look at the cats in Cats, their faces seem to be doing their own thing aside the rest of their bodies. You can see it so clearly that they're not in sync, it almost feels like a very good deepfake. Take this shot for example, see how as he turns his head, the entire part above the eyebrow is trying to catch up with the face. If you can't see it right away, I encourage you to go watch it in the slowest speed possible and loop that shit until you see it, because it's definitely there. Remember, this picture is a pair of cat eyes on a pug's face. You don't realize the first thing, but you know there's something wrong with it. Now, remember this guy? Despite the design, you know there's something inherently wrong with your boy Sonic. Do you know what it is though? I think it's the teeth. They put human teeth on a hedgehog. You want me to say it again? They put human teeth on a hedgehog. And also the nose looks way too real to be fake. Just some of the things they changed in the redesign, they toned way down on the teeth and also the nose. Now, look at her. What do you think is wrong? In my opinion, it's the human nose. In Cats, every cat has a human nose. And I guess for our brains, we can't quite register that concept just yet. That's why they look so odd and weird and creepy and trippy. Like I said, I think technically what they did with the fur on their bodies look fine, but it's the design that fucked with your brain. It's like, bro, why do these supposed cats have human nose and human lips and teeth? It's trippy. I don't want to touch it. No. I don't want it anymore. Please put it away. Thank you. So overall, I did not like the film, but there are things that are not appreciated by the people too. I think Cats just fell into that uncanny valley of CGI where it looks so real, but just not real enough, therefore looking faker than anything. But my question to all of this isn't why people hated the looks. It's if they actually had people in cat costumes to make this movie, would people like it a lot more? Or would they bitch about the cats in Cats not being CGI?